Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
The year 1838 marks a pivotal juncture in the annals of biology, forever altered by the collaborative endeavours of Matthias Schleiden, a botanist, and Theodor Schwann, a physiologist. Their collective researches on the cell stands as a cornerstone of modern biology, a testament to the power of observation, inductive reasoning, and the synthesis of disparate fields. This essay seeks to dissect this seminal work, examining its intellectual genesis, its transformative contributions, its lasting legacy, and the critical context within which it, prior to 1838, the understanding of living organisms was fragmented. Microscopy, though refined, was a relatively young science. While several scientists had glimpsed the cellular structure of various tissues, a unified conception, a grand unifying principle, remained elusive. The prevailing biological thought was dominated by vitalism, which posited that a vital force distinguished living matter from the inanimate. Seeds of the cell theory, however, were beginning to sprout. Botanists, in particular, had, through meticulous observation, recognized the cellular structure of plants. Robert Brown's 1830 rediscovery of the nucleus within plant cells provided a further crucial observation. The work of Henry Dutrochet, with his proposal in the early 1820s that both animal and plant tissues are composed of cells, laid additional foundational groundwork. He had argued that cells were the fundamental units of life, and his perspective, although imperfect, was an early attempt at unifying the animal and plant kingdoms under a single structural principle. Schleiden and Schwann built upon this nascent understanding, drawing from prior observations as well as from the methodological advancements afforded by the increasingly sophisticated microscopes of their era. Their achievement lay not so much in the mere observation of cells as rather in the synthesis of these discrete observations into a cohesive, universally applicable. The researchers on the cell itself, a compilation of their independent findings and collaborative insights, proposed a radical idea: the cell is the fundamental unit of structure, function, and organization in all living organisms. The primary tenets of the cell theory, as articulated by Schleiden and Schwann, were, first, that all organisms are composed of one or more cells; second, the cell is the basic unit of structure and function in all living things; third, cells arise from pre-existing cells. Schleiden, focusing on plant tissues, observed that plant cells arise from the nucleoli. He, in his observations, had examined the formation of new cells within plant structures, particularly in the development of the growing tips of plants. Schwann, examining animal tissues, observed the same cellular structures. He further proposed that cells arise from a process of free cell formation or cell budding from a non-cellular substance, a concept later proven inaccurate. The specific mechanisms they proposed for cell formation were, in some details, later shown to be partially incorrect, but their general principle endured. The importance lies with their recognition of the universal, fundamental nature of the cell. Their work was also notable for its emphasis on the role of the nucleus, as identified earlier by Brown, in cellular processes, though the precise functions of the nucleus were yet to be fully elucidated. The immediate impact of Schleiden and Schwann's work was profound. It provided a unifying framework for understanding the disparate fields of botany and zoology, forging a conceptual bridge between the plant and animal kingdoms. Anatomists, physiologists, and embryologists immediately adopted the cell as their fundamental unit of analysis. The cell theory provided a context for interpreting a wealth of existing observations, and it spurred many new avenues of research. For example, the understanding of tissue development, previously a complex and somewhat mysterious topic, was now reframed as a process of cellular proliferation and differentiation. The study of disease also took on a new dimension, with the cell becoming the primary focus of investigation into the causes and progression of illness. The cell theory also provided a crucial framework for understanding embryonic development, emphasizing the cellular lineage of tissues and organs. The immediate application of the cell theory was widespread, influencing virtually all branches of biology. The subsequent evolution of the cell theory unfolded rapidly in the decades following. In 1838, Rudolf Virchow, in 1855, expanded the cell theory with his famous dictum, omnicellula e cellula, meaning all cells arise from cells. This crucial addition corrected the initial error and affirmed that cells do not arise spontaneously but are always produced by the division of existing cells. The work of Virchow further strengthened the cell theory and resolved the remaining issues concerning cell generation. Further, advances in microscopy, particularly the advent of high-resolution lenses, extended cellular studies into the realms of cytochemistry, and cytology, scientists like Louis Pasteur and others further championed the omnis cellula e cellula principle. They demonstrated the microbial origin of life and disproved the idea of spontaneous generation, solidifying the cell theory's place at the foundation of life sci. The researchers on the cell faced some initial resistance and criticism. Some biologists, particularly those steeped in vitalistic philosophies, struggled to accept the idea that the seemingly complex activities of life could be reduced to the functions of individual cells. Others questioned the universality of the cell theory, doubting whether it applied to all organisms. The initial understanding of Schleiden concerning cell formation proved inaccurate, but the general framework endured. These theoretical and technical problems slowly resolved over time. The criticism and revisions surrounding the work stimulated many new research programs. The early criticism served, in some cases, to refine the theory. The initial critiques stimulated deeper study. This led to a more complete understanding of cellular structure and function. The work of Schleiden and Schwann was profoundly influenced by the scientific currents of their time. The rise of rational empiricism, the emphasis on observation and experimentation, and the increasing availability of sophisticated scientific instruments such as the microscope created an environment conducive to their discoveries. The discoveries built upon previous foundational work. Schleiden undoubtedly drew from prior studies on plant cells. Schwann, on the other hand, was significantly influenced by his studies on animals and microscopic anatomy. These observations were, in turn, built upon their shared experience with microscopy, experimental methods, and physiological studies led to a collaborative research. Together, they formed a singular advancement. The direct influence of Schleiden and Schwann's work on subsequent scientific endeavours is incalculable. Every field that touches upon living organisms employs the cell theory. The cell theory serves as the foundation for understanding genetics, biochemistry, molecular biology, and immunology. The application of the cell theory, particularly in an era of technological advancements, has yielded new vaccines and medical procedures. The cell theory provides a unifying framework for understanding human health and disease. The discoveries, made in 1838, have become the building blocks of scientific and medical advances. These advancements have led to the treatments of illness and enhanced the quality of human life. In conclusion, the 1838 researches on the cell by Schleiden and Schwann represents a watershed moment in the history of biology. It stands as a testament to the power of observation, the importance of collaborative endeavours, and the enduring significance of scientific inquiry. The cell theory, as articulated by Schleiden and Schwann, provided a crucial conceptual framework that united the disparate fields of botany and zoology. Its immediate impact, its subsequent evolution, and its long-lasting legacy continue to shape our understanding of life at every level, from the smallest molecules to the most complex organisms. It is a foundation and a cornerstone, a demonstration of the power of scientific thought. Its impact is timeless, and its influence is found everywhere that biological studies extend.
We really appreciate you tuning into this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.